my goodness. Every time at the last minute, I see you doing something.
Oh my God, because I literally was lost this time. I was looking at something. I was like, what is this? And then I was like, oh
no. Guess what?
What?
We're actually early today.
Ain't that something?
Anyway.
I feel like, it's okay. Listen, we're not on the, this isn't the 5 o'clock news. It's okay. We come on fashionably behind, but yes, I'm celebrating. We got on here early tonight.
Yes, because we need to, we have not. Hey, Ellen, and shout out to Mocha Mima when she gets in here because she shouted us out today and she had a really good live once again. She was going through some things that were on these internet streets, and I always love Mocha's take because Mocha is fucking hilarious. But we have not even talked. Usually we talk behind the scenes or off camera about different topics anyway, so we kind of know what each other's take is on it, but we have not talked about this Carlee Russell thing. I think I talked to my mother about it a teeny weeny little bit or whatever, but like, when did you start following that? When did you pick up on that case? That case.
You know what? This is really odd, but maybe it's not. So in the middle of the night, I'll roll over and I'll pick up my phone. And I'll start looking and scrolling and stuff. And I know that's not healthy, right? But it happens.
That's a rabbit hole, like shit.
Okay. It is. And oh my gosh, me and James catch each other all the time. We'd be like, because it's like if you get a really good spot, like on the couch and you got your phone, or if you have like a spot in your house somewhere, like where you can just like nuzzle up or whatever, like get comfortable with your phone. Yo, that can be a deadly zone.
Hey, Mocha.
Hey, Mocha Mima. Yo, that can be.
I was just talking about your stories, Mocha, from earlier. So welcome. But I'm sorry. You found out about it in the middle of the night.
So yeah, I found out about that, and this isn't on our list. We're not going to talk about this because I thought it was. I'm following the story, but it's very gruesome. And there was this. Oh
God.
I think it was like a Nigerian man. There was this influencer. And she's like a social media influencer, and she was basically killed in Africa. I think it was Lagos. I can't even remember all the details, but these people were like well known in their circles and online and stuff. And he had put all this stuff up on his story a couple of nights ago about how he's going to turn himself in, and he accidentally stabbed her. But then lo and behold, it's like something else because her body was somehow mutilated. And so that, like, it was wild. And I was like, I don't even really want to get into that on the show, but it was a weird story. And so I was following that, but I found this Carlee stuff out around the same time because I remember thinking to myself, like, what is happening here? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you better than me because when I come across certain things and I see that it's going down this path, I'll be like, oh, let me go back over here.
Yeah.
I would not have even been able to read all of that. That sounds crazy.
So, and I think she went missing. It says July 13th. So I think that was actually a Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe it was, that was like a Thursday. So
Carlee was Googling stuff.
I basically found out about it on Saturday.
Okay.
Or maybe it was Friday. I don't really recall when. I just remember thinking, wow. So by the time the camera footage came out, I wasn't really ready to watch it because it was before I think they had said she was found or something. And I just didn't want to see anything wacky and just be haunted by it. And I was kind of like lightly following the story, but it wasn't until she was found or that she, it was said that she was recovered or whatever, that she wasn't missing anymore, that I started to hear about some of the other stuff because I guess I was expecting to see, and this is funny because we're just having this conversation together. So we don't even know what either of us thinks, but I guess I was expecting to see her, right? Like,
who? Carlee?
Carlee. I guess I was expecting for her to come out and say, oh my God, thank you all for searching for me. Or something like that. I don't know. Like when those girls were found, remember when there was this guy with the blue tarp and he had those girls abducted in his backyard or in his house for like years, and then somehow one of them got out and they were rescued, and it came out, and it was like a blue tarp. This was like maybe like 10 years ago. I'm telling you, this guy.
I remember.
Oh my gosh. See, okay, because maybe it's just because I be watching this ID channel stuff, but no, I remember when that came out in the news, there was this man who, this girl basically escaped, and she was telling people that like, oh, she she had escaped from this house where she was being held captive for years and years, and then she said the girls in Ohio. I'm getting ready to look that up right now, and I remember. Then they found out, they went back to the house and found out.
Hey, Demeter Joe McCullough.
No, that's right. Then they came back and realized that like there was 2 other girls in the house, and one of them was like mentally like challenged, and he had been like having babies with these girls. He had abducted those girls, and he took them captive for years. And I remember thinking like the mental anguish that one must endure to have some stuff like that happen. You see what I'm saying? So I was like, okay, that's what I immediately thought of when the Carly stuff started going down. Right? I was like, oh my God, somebody's gonna get their hands on her. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be like one of those movies, or like and I just seen Dahmer. So then I'm like,
oh Lord, I see. I didn't watch that. I didn't watch that.
Well, listen, that has a definite effect.
See, okay, I control my shows, right? Because if it gets too dark or whatever, I'm turning it off. I'm watching something else. I'm watching something funny or whatever. I don't even really watch scary movies like that. So
I don't know what it is. I don't
on stuff like that. I don't look.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really like scary movies like that either. But the ID channel, for some reason, I can just watch that. It's like James gets on me all the time because he's like, you don't want to watch these horror movies or the stuff, but you be watching real killings all the time. And I'm like, they don't show the killing stuff. It's just the deep.
See, but I can watch certain things, but it depends on how crazy it gets. Like, if it's one that is gonna talk about stabbing or whatever, I'm not gonna watch that. If it's something, if it's something on a level of, it was just like nothing really gruesome happened.
Yeah,
I'll watch that. You know what I mean? Like, I like to watch the court TV trials when they have like interesting trials or whatever. I like to watch interrogations. But like, I don't need all the gory details. Once you say that they killed a person, however they killed them, that's out. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna be like, okay, you killed somebody. Okay, now moving forward, I don't want to go deeper than that. So yeah. But anyway,
I mean, look. So I understand what you're coming from though, because it's like when this story started breaking, I wasn't ready to hear all of it and then it happened so quickly when she reappeared but I was honestly, I guess I was expecting her just like those girls in Ohio to talk. But I mean, I can't really say that they came out in some like press conference or whatever, but like I don't know. Maybe it's also because it was very clearly true, and the man was right there, and they couldn't deny that. Like, oh yeah, this is where I mean,
it is weird because the things that stand out in this to me is that they need to talk to her again, and they've not been granted that. That's number one. That stands out to me. A parent, if they go up for their kid, if they're the type to cover for their kid, no matter what, that could be what she's doing. Her mother, that could be what her mother's doing. But then the other thing that kind of like just made me be like, we already knew this, was y'all better watch what y'all be Googling, okay? Not you as in y'all, but like they nicely looked at that, which I knew they could, but it was just interesting to see what they chose to read out loud, which I know is probably a whole bunch of stuff that she searched, right? And so, I mean, but they gave enough to that, just let us know she's, somebody's not telling the truth here. So like, what's the next step?
So here's where I don't agree.
Oh God. Wait. Okay. So wait, before we start, let me just clarify, just know where we're at with this. So you don't think that what is it that you're saying that you disagree with?
say. My thing is, look, I don't agree either way, but I don't really believe what they have to say as the only thing to say because I just haven't heard from her. I think there's other facts that need to come out before I can really. I just know that you laughing at me.
Yes. Did you
Only
watch the press conference?
Yeah, I saw where the police showed like they played the 911 call and they were like, "Oh, she Googled all this stuff." I mean, those things don't have to be connected for real. Like, I mean, so she watched the movie Taken, so she looked it up. Like, if she can come forward, if there is someone out there, real man with orange hair and a bald spot and a baby, and you know what I'm saying, if that stuff really does exist, then they're gonna look really, crazy. Like, I feel like if something happened to me and it sounded crazy, and just because it sounded crazy, people wouldn't believe me, then that would be something, right? I don't know that she didn't do all the right things. I think she took some things from her job or something like that. But I just don't even think that the two have to really be related. Like, yeah, she Googled some stuff, but do we have evidence of her? Like, where was she? You know what I'm saying? Like, let's like somebody show some footage of where she was. Now, she said in her whatever to the cops, they said they couldn't corroborate anything that she said.
Right.
One of the things that she said, hold up, let me go over here to this sheet. One of the things that she said,
Mocha's right. The police do lie, right? They do lie.
Yeah, and they only I thought it was interesting that they didn't play the footage all the way through, that it was chopped up a little bit of her car, because also, and I don't know, I could be tripping, but like, because you could see the cars going up and yeah, nobody else called, or we don't have record of anyone else calling. Now, if people start to come out and be like, I saw that baby too, then it's going to be a different story. But what the police are telling us, and this is the thing, they're our only source of information that it's like credible. Now they're trying to say like, oh, she stole something from work, so she probably is a criminal. Like, that doesn't necessarily, like, okay, if there's got to be some footage of her at the bus station, or in the Walmart buying the weapons. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're weapons. But she said, one of the things she said was that they took her, like, she said a man came out of the woods and said, I came to check on the baby or something, and then picked her up. And at that time, she could have been drugged. Now, I'm not saying that this has been, confirmed, but people could try to get drugged, or people could get drugged that way. Here's what she said. She tried to get away at one point. She got away, but they took her back. They blindfolded her. They made her get undressed. She thinks she was in the back of an 18-wheeler, and she thinks they took photos of her somewhere, but they never sexually touched her, or she doesn't remember that. She remembers being fed cheese crackers, and she remembers hearing a baby crying, and she remember, like, in the way she got away, and she ran all, this is part doesn't make sense. She ran all the way through the woods until she came out near her house. Now, unless she knows the woods of Alabama, you know what I'm saying, which I'm not putting past her, it sounds a little odd. But however, what I'm saying is this: those things don't necessarily have to be untrue. She also said that, I just looking at time. She also said that she was at a gas station or something at some point with them, or sometime before or after. If there's no footage of that, then there's no footage of that. But it's interesting to me that I haven't heard anything from her. I've only heard what she said to them from them. And they don't have any evidence saying she's lying. People starting to talk about the Jussie Smollett thing with this, but they were able to come up with footage of him that showed that he was lying. So, I mean, listen,
that's what's happening now, right? Because I got all of what you said, but to me, where I disagree is that I feel like, yes, one thing standing alone doesn't corroborate anything, but all of the things related together, it doesn't look good. And so when they did that last press thing, they said that she took a bathrobe and toilet tissue from work. They said that she went to the Target before she made the 911 call, and she had bought Cheez-Its and granola. They said some snack items, but it later was said to be Cheez-Its and granola. That stuff was not in the car when they found the car, only the food that she picked up for her and her mother. So it was seen that she would have had to take those specific things. That doesn't look good, right? Then when they
whoever
said that
took her could have took them, and they said that actually does match up her story, because she said that she was being fed cheese crackers.
Right,
but go ahead.
So yeah, I know, right? But it's like such a coincidence that the things that you bought from Target and that you stole from work, you took them together. because and then okay, so anyway, that's the thing that is, like I said, standing out for me is that they have not granted her access to talk to them. If I was the parent and somebody had abducted my child, and I believe somebody had abducted my child, I need you to talk to them so you can get this person gone, right? So we can figure out who this person is, because so much time has passed. If there really was a person, they're long gone now. You know what I'm saying? So they had to come out and talk to people to let them know whether it was a threat, an immediate threat for the community. But they couldn't corroborate anything that she said, according to them, right? But if you were the person, right, wouldn't you like want to hurry up and get it over with, especially if the world was 96%?
Yeah, but I wouldn't necessarily want to cooperate with the cops. I'm going to tell you that. Like, I wouldn't. Hopefully, she has somebody over there who's able to do some investigations on her behalf. Because if it's her word against the cops, and there's something that she's not comfortable with dealing with the cops' word, because that it's at some point people do kind of look at people like, oh, well, yeah, sure, tell me the story. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's like,
everything.
I don't know if they're saying that she's alleging this story and that she's actually this didn't happen.
She has to have a story.
Then they should be able to come up with more evidence. And this is what they don't believe her for. They don't believe her because she was talking about, she searched the movie Taken.
And nobody, first let's go back to nobody ever saw the baby. Ever. No other people on the highway
at this point.
Well, none of the cars, and also none of those cars stopped to see it either. Like, nobody saw it, nobody called it in, nobody's baby was missing. Now, if there was a kidnapper and they were using their own baby, then there's the answer, because the baby would not exist. But then the crazy thing is, like, she wasn't frantic on the phone. She was just, talking. And so it's like, okay, if she, like, there's so many things, conversations being talked about now, like, if she has done this before, right? Maybe she didn't think that it was going to go this far. Because something has to be, like, I can't see this being a kidnapper because of the things that,
because the things she searched on her phone.
No, well, that's on top of everything else that gave me a pause. The stuff that you took from work and that you bought from Target aren't even in the car. But then you said that the person fed you cheeses, you bought them. So you know what I'm saying? The robe, I don't know about that. And then, I mean, there's the search was just icing on the cake. Like, okay, if she really was searching for that, I'm pretty sure, like I said, there was some other stuff or whatever. But, like, one of the other stories is, like, she could be pregnant, and it's illegal there now. And she was looking up states that she could go do that at, possibly as a one scenario. But I mean, there was a couple of different scenarios, but it just doesn't.
We won't know until we hear from her.
Yeah, but that's the other thing. It's like, if she did lie, because we're looking at it like, okay, somebody lied here, right? If she did lie, like, are we waiting for her to tell us the truth now?
No, I'm saying this. It may be somebody didn't lie. Maybe what they're saying is true, but maybe what she's saying is also true, but they just haven't found the evidence of it yet. If they're saying that she's lying, then they should be able to show the evidence that she's lying. Like, hey, she said she was here, but she was here, and we clearly have that. But if she's been gone missing and they can't verify her story, but they also can't prove it wrong, then I'm inclined to believe her, just because, like, of the facts that they gave, none of the stuff goes against her facts. They just happen to be random ass facts. So she stole some shit from work. I mean, I'm not advocating for that, but, like, so it sucks that they found that out on that day, right? She probably did that shit all the time. Also, like, this sounds silly, but, like, I mean, I don't know. It's possible that she didn't take the stuff out of the car, that she was, taken out of the car, and they took whatever they thought.
But the video shows her going into the other side of the car. The video on the highway.
I have no idea. And she said she was grabbed and picked up. But one thing that I thought was interesting is when I watched the actual,
she was grabbed and the person made her climb over a fence.
The thing that I find interesting is that when I watched that footage, there was some lights in the bushes that was at like second 49. And at first I was thinking to myself, like, there was a lot of cars coming by and the reflection of the signs was happening. But there was also something very odd that I saw right in the beginning of the thing, right by the mile marker. And I couldn't get that out of my head. And it was like right before one of the most, well, you know, when you watch it on YouTube, you can see the most rewound part. And I was like looking in the comments to see if anybody else saw what I saw. But it's like, here's what I'm saying. I'm not saying if the girl's lying, I ain't gonna lose out on nothing. Like, I'm not, you know, so what? She tricked me. But I'm inclined to just go along and see if she's telling the truth or not, just because it's very easy. What if she is telling the truth? And it doesn't cost me anything to just, you know, just see. Because, but what happens is I think people, you know, like, they're obviously building a strong narrative that, like, hey, listen, this is nothing, guys. But if it does come out, like, you remember that movie Flight Plan, where the girl had her daughter when they came on the plane, and everybody was like, did she have a daughter? I didn't see her daughter. I didn't see no daughter neither. And then after you think about it for a long time, maybe you don't think she has a daughter. And then lo and behold, by the end of the movie, she came out of that damn plane with the girl, and everybody was shocked. And I'm just saying, it's a possibility. It's not that strong of a possibility that she's telling the truth. Perhaps all of the things are true. Perhaps she did make those searches with her phone, and perhaps she did like the movie Taken, and perhaps she did steal those things from work, and perhaps she did figure out how to get money from a register, and maybe she did buy a bus ticket. Who knows? But some of that stuff has to be on camera. Like, you can't go into a bus station, or, like, I know they don't have it like that. If she was actually gonna go get that bus ticket, or she purchased the bus ticket, they said she searched the bus ticket. I don't know if she bought it or not, but if she was actually where they think she was, show us where she was. You know what I'm saying? Like, and if you don't know where she was, then it's not enough investigation for us to even think about it. Like,
I get what you're saying, and we're gonna agree to disagree on this one, because I'm not saying that, you know, anything bad about her. I'm just saying this after this press conference, it just didn't look good.
Yeah.
And so because even the mother was on her interview the other day, she was even saying the same thing. So it was like, what is happening right now? So I guess we'll just have to see what's going on. But it's a whole bunch of stuff in these streets. People are talking, and somebody allegedly said that some of her friends were talking. But, you know, on the internet, anybody can be whoever they want to be. So I have to look more into that or whatever. But there's all types of conversations going on about this. So we'll see what happens.
I'll definitely be following it because I'm interested to see what happens. Like, you know, let's just see what happens.
Yeah, because it's real mess. It would be real messed up because of the fact that there are people actually missing, and there are people that have been missing and have lost their lives and stuff like that. So that's why I'm like, it's not looking good. Okay, because even I feel like somebody could get in trouble behind it too if they found out, if they confirm whatever they're not telling us. Because trust and believe, they ain't telling us everything. You know what I'm saying? They ain't telling us everything. So
well, they'll just like what happened with Jussie Smollett. They'll come up with something that is obvious either way, and if they don't, I don't know.
That press conference said a lot to me yesterday.
I mean,
like, oh my goodness, what?
Well, I think that's what they do. They build their case and they say, oh, well, this, you know, she, you know.
But I mean, if
like, you can pull up anything that somebody did in the last week or 2 weeks, and it just looks like they're guilty. Like,
I'm saying, I hear that, but if they're just stating facts, things that that are facts. So it's not really, you know, it's not really like it's somebody's opinion. You know what I'm saying? It's just like this happened, okay. But that just goes to show you though too, like how the law works. It's not really even about what people can like who did it or who done it, who didn't do it. It's about like what they can prove. So when I heard that press conference yesterday, I just felt like they were laying out something else. You know what I'm saying?
And they need to go ahead and come forward with the rest of it if they're trying to accuse her, because nothing they said she lied. Like, everything they said could go along with what she said. So it didn't make any sense.
I feel like they did say she lied without saying she lied.
Well, that's the thing. They have to come out and be like, she lied. You know? Yeah, because
I feel like the longer that they okay, so here's what I'm thinking. That if they think that it's a fake story and a made up story, then that could put that family in trouble
with the law. But
yeah.
if they think it's a fake and made up story, then they would have to have evidence that it's a fake and made up story.
I mean, but all they would have to do is provide, like the part they said they don't know. All they would have to do is just prove that she was in those places, and they could already have that footage and not sharing it with us. They're probably trying to get her to come and talk so that they can piece together whatever they have, right? Because there is parts that they just probably don't know, but they're not going to tell her the exact parts that they need to.
Well, then
connect.
they need to detain her if they feel like she criminally did that.
Well, no, they're not. She's the one that, like, it's not like, okay, she's like, not under arrest. She's not
under arrest. But if she's claiming this, it's the same thing that happened with Jussie Smollett. He was accused of like wasting resources or whatever. Mm-hmm. And if they can't, the only thing I'm saying is that they have created a narrative here with the facts that they spoke, but none of the facts actually detract from what she said. They could all be true. She could have stolen and then called the police, and then because my thing is like,
it's just too much that doesn't go right. Like the mom has said that.
What would be the game?
The mom has said because they're saying that she wants attention, right? The mom has said that they recently talked about the scenario of a baby being in the road, and then lo and behold, she calls 911, says there's a baby in the road, right? So it's like if there is, like, we don't know this family, right? Like, what if this is a person who has seeked out attention before in certain other ways and didn't think that this was going to make any type of wave in the national world. You know what I'm saying? She's just pulling one of her stunts, but this one just got out of control. Like, what if it's that? Because
that would be wild.
Another thing that doesn't make me believe her is that her father doesn't look like he's sitting there willingly. He looks like he is like, okay, I'm gonna, sit through this, or whatever he's thinking, but he's not as like how the mother is. And so I don't know. I'm just looking at that. Now, it's a bunch of things together that for me, the press conference yesterday I didn't even think they was going to say as much as they did, but that was, what they said. And it kind of let me know what they're looking to do. So the only thing that's going to happen though is it's like, now that it's like a public, it's for like public fodder, right? It's for everybody to dissect and talk about it. Their family business is going to start to come out or whatever, whatever they found in there. Like, there's somebody that, how stuff happens in the family, is somebody knows a little bit more than the average world, right? And so somebody is gonna, come out and start talking. I find it interesting too that nobody is standing up on their side, like, while this is happening. Like, how, the Beyonce's mother said something about it or whatever, but how some people like come up like, my sister such and such was missing and this, that, and the other. Like, where's the people? You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
Those people could be going to the police. Another thing that I concocted in my curiously wild imagination was that, that was funny. This is a scheme that Todd set up for the BS. Oh my gosh, I swear. Marlo is never dead. I mean, not dead. I don't want to say it like that. Anyway, that was funny. So listen, I concocted in my head that one possibility could be that whoever abducted her has some ties to the police department. Listen, I'm not making any accusations here, but it would make sense as to why she turned back up, because the story was getting too hot, and things were going to start happening. But if that were the case, then somebody's facts have to line up. Now, if they do more investigation, if they do more investigation and they find the person that she described a tall person with orange hair and a bald spot. And I don't know.
See, but that's the crazy thing, right? The crazy thing is she started all this. She called the police. She's the one that pulled up the side of the road. She called the police, exactly. Right? So, like, and even if you think about that time that you claim you saw a monkey on the street, I didn't see the monkey. You know what I'm saying? And you said it was a monkey in the street. But we passed by so fast because we was on the highway. We really didn't get a chance to zoom in on much else.
We were not on the highway. We were in Columbia, Maryland, in the suburbs.
Okay, and so if we missed it that quick, she's on the highway. You telling me that she was able to successfully stop like she did because she saw an actual baby?
It was odd to me the way that this car kept riding, but then again, I don't know that. It's like I just need to hear something from her. All I've heard from her is what they said she said. If she comes out in the next couple of weeks lawyered up with another story and they can do some investigating for her.
Well, I heard they did obtain a lawyer.
As a personal citizen, I'm just saying that, like, as a personal citizen, it's you against whatever they say, and for that reason, it's like hopefully, the truth will come out and it won't be just like left up in the air, like we don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully there will be an opportunity, because what if she's right? This is my thing that I said to myself. What if she's fucking right? What if this thing did happen to her, but the police deaded it like, oh, it's just another person like making shit up, and then lo and behold, this like either happens to somebody else, or like so many times have happened before, 20 years later the person comes out and confesses like, hey, remember that girl that time I abducted her, and and it's like I see stuff like that happen all the time. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, it's not that far-fetched. But if she has a history of doing this, I need to see that, right? Like, if that's what's being implied, like, there must be some evidence as to that. And I don't want to, my thing is, like, if this is, I don't think that it's malicious or like, whatever. Like, if this does come out to be like an untrue thing that she reported, then, and it's mental health related, like, we just have to wash that one under. But I'm not being hurt either way. I'm glad the girl is safe.
I don't even think this is supposed to be funny, but what?
They've had a similar situation, which is why she's instead of George Grace. No. It's not even that. I was just trying to say, like, if she's wrong, then there has to be evidence to that. Because I'm just gonna believe she's
okay. I gotta go here. I like a lot analogies and stuff like that.
Yes.
So if you have a boyfriend, right? Like, say you weren't married, you had a boyfriend, and somebody told you that they saw him somewhere, you was able to figure out that he was there. They said that they found out he bought some condoms at the store, but the condoms weren't in the car or whatever. And then this nigga goes missing. You know what I'm saying? Then he comes back and he says, listen, I saw a baby on the side of the road. You know what I'm saying? Also, Dave Chappelle did the same joke. But anyway, I saw a baby on the side of the road. They painted my nails, they fed me cheeses. Are you gonna extend the same grace to him and be like, okay, honey, I believe it?
First of all, hell no. Okay.
Why not though?
Because that's a different situation.
It should have happened.
I don't know this girl.
Dude.
I don't know this girl, so if she's lying or not, it doesn't bother me. You know what I'm saying? Like, her untruths don't make any difference.
Oh my God.
So the stakes are very low with this young lady. Now, if that shit happened with my husband and he come home and say some shit like that, oh no. We're gonna be up investigating under the highlight.
All I'm saying is, to me, it looks like it looks and feels like something that got out of control, and I feel like mom is either she is one of two ways. Either she is, well, she can actually be three ways, but either she's like, I'm gonna believe my child over everything, or she's like, okay, we just started saying this and now I'm just gonna go with it and we'll smooth it over or whatever. Yeah. Or she's like, just, in on it. But I don't think it's that route. I think that either she really, really believes her real hard, or she's trying to fix her mess. Because, okay, so what I heard about the mother, she's, I think they're in real estate investment, but they got a piece of coin, you know what I'm saying? But then somebody else's theory was that her mother has different properties too. And in those properties, and this to me was a reach, but then it did make a little bit of sense. But in those properties, they're already staged, but they don't keep toilet tissue in those empty properties because they don't want people to take a shit in the house. So the fact that she took a robe and some tissue, she may have. So like, if this
that's a whole
weight, right? Because it goes on. If she did go to one of her mother's investment properties, and that's what she was chilling at, and her mother found out about it, that brings her mother into it. And
now she's like a lie. Yeah.
Right. So it could be anything. Now that is a reach. But
somebody had to see her do that because somebody lives in those neighborhoods. I would think. I don't know. Maybe somebody.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. They only have the Ring camera from when she returned. That y'all don't got nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like
y'all had to see her somewhere.
Y'all only have one. I don't know. They said they saw her walking calm and then she sprinted or whatever. But if I don't know. I can't say what I would do either. I'm not even gonna do it. But anyway, so we agree to disagree. We're gonna see what happens with this story. But it's not looking good for her for me. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you on that.
Somebody lying, but
it's I feel you on that. I feel you. Okay, so this next one is real quick. It's just right. It's just about the Screen Act. The Writers Guild of America is on strike, and I'm just watching this story because the people that they're disputing with, the Alliance Motion Picture and Television Producers, which is known as like the AMPTP. Mm-hmm. That's the last time I say that. They're disagreeing about residuals from streaming media, and basically you had asked earlier, like, what does this mean? And I think it's not going to affect anything that is out currently, but once the fall programming comes into play, it'll start to affect that if all the writers are on strike. One thing I never understood about people going on strike is that what if they just hire a whole bunch of new people? I thought that to myself. And I know it doesn't work like that, but I don't know. That's such a popular seeming industry that I feel like, I don't know. People do things.
I mean, but if they're all on strike, ain't they also supposed to be on strike?
Yeah.
Like the point of a strike is not to do any work. So if somebody goes against it and it's like, oh, well, we'll do it. Then it's like, what? You're going to go against SAG?
Yeah, and it's funny. I mean, like, I just came up with that in my mind. I don't know if there are parameters in place to prevent that, but my thinking is like it's risky. Like you're not you want more money, but you're definitely gonna make no money, right? Mm-hmm. Like while you're talking, but I don't really know a lot about that aspect of it. But anyway, they have been making proposals, but they haven't come to any agreements as of yet. The proposals that the writers have been advancing, they have estimated that it would gain writers about $429 million a year, but the AMPTP's offer came out to be projected $86 million. So $429 million is what the writers are saying that they think is fair, and $86 million is what the other side is saying they think is fair, which is obviously a huge gap, which is why they're doing this. Now, I've heard a lot of stuff about like how streaming music robs people, like they get like half a penny, like the artists get half a penny, and then I also heard something about some of these motion picture production companies wanting to scan faces of extras and then use their likeness like forever. And it's like, well, dang, I don't know how much extras make, but it's not, anything significant. So it's like, essentially you just got bought your face got bought for $200 or something for the rest. And then they could just use your face wherever they want to use your face. And I don't think that's right. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that's
me. Yeah, no.
I don't know what's going to happen now, but in the age of AI, it's like anything could happen. And I had to consider for a second, I was like, what if this strike doesn't work, right? Like, what if this is the end of something, right, for a minute? I don't know. But, I mean, there's always possibilities. So, I don't know. That's something.
But you're right. AI is like a part of almost everything now. You know what I'm saying? So, and they can do some crazy things with it. Like I saw a hologram or something of Drake's concert where his hologram handed him a book.
I thought somebody said that was a real actor that time. But that was wild.
I was like, my eyes playing tricks on me. What is going on?
But I have seen some crazy stuff like those billboards that have the things popping out of the billboards, like the animals or whatever.
Like Back to the Future, like how Back to the Future was, yeah.
That stuff looks
they can do stuff with your voice. They can do stuff with your voice. Yes. Now, you know what I mean? So
yeah, which reminds me, people need to come up with code words for their family because some of that stuff be sounding really true. Like, hey, it's me. I need you to help me. Somebody's, whatever, right? Like that. Listen, okay, now let me really blow your mind.
Oh,
what if that wasn't Carly's voice? What if somebody AI? What if somebody AI copied her voice and called the cops and just pinned this whole thing on her? Because I'm just saying, now that's
well,
a
then
real
that would
stretch.
be like, okay, what was she on the side of the road for then? But
this is my crazy ass mind. Like nobody thinks of this stuff like this. What if AI took Carly's voice? Like, no, I really just have to hang up. That's a real stretch. That's a real stretch. Next thing you know, they can be trying to lock me up, okay? Because that's really.
My God. Did you hear about the lady in Dubai that got locked up for screaming over there?
I did.
That was like, oh my gosh. But
I did. I don't know too much about that. Do you know a little bit about it?
I don't know about that either, but I just the headline is crazy to me.
Like to me, it was crazy, but I also will say I don't know what happened, but I think that it's wise to learn the customs.
Like, what was she screaming for?
Yeah, I don't know, but I feel like
no, you got a point.
I don't know how that happened, but if it was, I don't know, man. I'm afraid of that kind of stuff.
I feel for her because I heard she was locked up for a couple of months.
Some of these countries they'll kill you. And on the ID channel specifically, I've watched a couple of things where people got arrested in other countries, and their systems don't work like our systems. So you could be in there for years. That. So
yeah, I mean, you never know. They made an AI Joe Biden saying that he hated black people. Like, we just don't know what we're looking at now. They got AI rappers and all types of stuff. Anyway,
listen, that was just a mental exercise, everybody. I'm not claiming that. I'm not her lawyer, and I'm not claiming that that's what happened. Oh, that woman was yelling because she left her stuff in a rental car, and they wouldn't let her get it without paying money to get it. So she started acting the fool. And I don't know if that's the case. But my thing is, okay, we're gonna get into that on this Ready to Love conversation we're about to have. But
please, your AI thing is probably gonna be fire on the spot live. Stop playing. I haven't done it yet either, though. Anyway, sorry.
No, you're good. That thing is wild. But anyway, let's get into this Ready to Love conversation. And I did find I have to talk to Own about this. Somebody at Own, call me, because what's going on with this page? Now, I finally found a page, okay, with them on it, but it's not populated all the way.
Oh, God.
And how did I find it? Because I'm a master Googler, people. That's how I found it. It's there on their site, okay? I just so happened to Google something to the point where this came up, and I clicked on it. But you can't, I didn't see it from their site, but this is interesting, right? Because
where's everybody?
I don't know, but this is their site. I had to look at it. I was like, is this Oprah.com? And it is. But
that's wild.
Yeah. It's very interesting. I guess this is like something in progress. So I don't know how I learn how to do this, but sometimes when there's a sale happening, like, you know, how like the Aaron Contra stuff, sometimes they'll build a page that's not live clickable from the site. But depending on how you Google it or you move around on the dark webs, you can figure out.
I don't know nothing about that.
I don't know how to hack either, guys, but I Googled.
I know Mocha's comment.
Maybe Habibi is Tyrone's AI, aka Tyrone's AI. Yo, Habibi got some issues. All right, we can get into this. So, do they have a picture of Habibi? I don't even want to say his name no more, for real. But I'm going to because
you want to update on Habibi?
Travis. He doesn't feel like a Travis.
Would you like an update on Habibi?
I would.
So Habibi went on his Instagram and said that it's going to be for any interviews. He is $1,000 for 15 minutes.
Sir, have some peace. Oh wow!
I was like, what that? You know, what I don't think he. Well, I get what he can do, whatever he wants to do, right? But when they talk to the bloggers, that's a chance to tell more about your story, to, you know, or you could do it on your own. Like, you can do it on your own YouTube channel, your own IG or whatever. But when you do it with a blogger that has a following, you get your story out and you get some of those questions answered, because to be real, there's only a small group of Ready to Love fans that will follow everything that's going on Ready to Love. The bigger group of Ready to Love watchers kind of stop where the TV stops or stop where their reviewer stops. But when they have these interviews and stuff, it makes people a lot more interesting. And plus, you might be watching somebody's channel. I think Mocha said this. You might be watching somebody's channel and not know about something, and then you find out about them over there. You wouldn't have looked anywhere else because you wasn't checking for it. You know what I mean? So yeah. I think that $1,000 for 15 minutes is crazy. But good luck with that. You know, you listen, know your own worth. So if that brother wants to do that, then we won't be speaking with him this season.
Absolutely not. And I mean, listen, I get it. It also could be a tactic to not want anybody to talk to him, right? But
I thought about that too. That shuts it down. Like, all right, they're not gonna be bothering me. But
right, and if you want to, hey, I'll take $1,000 for 15 minutes if you want to sit on me.
I feel like it's too soon to do something like that though, because by the time we get to the end of the season and everybody else has had like these rounds of interviews and stuff, he's probably good, but he can still probably be interviewed by their own people or whatever. So maybe you're right. Maybe that's the tactic that he's like, I don't want them bothering me.
I don't know. I just came up with, I don't know if that's the case or not. I mean, it's just, that's what I'm thinking to myself as far as like the way to repel somebody from asking you to interview them. You know what I'm saying? Like, well, there's that.
Nobody mess with that clown.
Because I don't even know. Like, the only reason somebody would want to talk, this is so judgmental, but I don't know why anybody would want to talk to him. I guess to get his side of it. But like,
I mean, honestly, I would be afraid of what he was gonna say.
I honestly feel like he gave his side of it. Like the things that he was saying were so outrageous that I don't really want to hear why he said it. There was no reason for it. So he doesn't have like I don't know. Like I said, and I'm not saying he's the worst person in the streets, but I'm just saying like I've seen enough of him. I saw enough of him that first episode. And I wonder if they could have painted him in a different light. I wonder that could they have just pulled back a little bit? But I feel like they have to go to the cadence of who was voted off. So when somebody votes off, then they have to put together a storyline as to why that happened. Mm-hmm. And if it didn't happen in between the last vote off, they got to be telling the story the whole time.
I mean, yeah, because think about it. They're recording all of that footage, and then they're going back according to what happened, and you know, they're not thinking about, like, of course, everybody looks at it as themselves, right? Like, well, this is my story, and this is my story, but it's not one person's story, like you pointed out. So, you know, that part is interesting. Mocha says she got 5 or 6 new people watching Ready to Love.
Nice.
And Demetra Joe McCullough says Ready to Love comes on too often, like Love and Marriage Huntsville. I was about to say Love and Marriage Hip Hop. But no, I do feel like Love and Marriage Huntsville is always on, always. But then Love and Marriage DC still didn't come back with the reunion.
Wild.
And now they need longer breaks.
I don't know how they piece this together, but my thinking is that, okay, especially after seeing Tequila on Crystal XO.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there was a part of that. And I've seen other people say stuff about Tequila. Something about Tequila makes me want to, you know, give her, you know, the what does they call it? The benefit of the doubt. But there are some things that she did there that were just not cool, right? Like, I don't even know why she was taking up her BB. That was just weird. Like, why? Like, he's not even if he's trying to be nice, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a point where, you know, it's not even worth doing that. You know what I'm saying? Like, he made his bed, he can lie in it. For you to put yourself in between him and the conflict of the other people, it's like, you know, that's not necessary. And also, I mean, and she admittedly said she lost control of restraint of herself. Now, there was apparently a backstory as to like her outfit and all this other stuff. And obviously she's having somewhat of a beef with Janelle, but that
who a couple of people said she was bullying. They labeled Janelle as a bully.
I could see how they would say that with the things that she said to Kira and some of the just little snide remarks. And sometimes she'd just be having this look on her face. And I, when somebody said that, I think it was Tequila, but I've heard it from several places that she was a bully or she was a mean girl. Nothing in my spirit was like, oh, really? Like, I completely was like, I could see that. Like, because I could see that. She doesn't give something off opposite of that. Like, oh no, she seems so sweet, right? So there's that, but also Tequila did admit that she lost herself in that moment. And even if you are reacting to her saying whatever she said, I didn't think really the light skin comment was necessary. But again, I didn't see what was happening behind the scenes. Now, she said in her interview, Tequila did with Crystal XO, that she, some things had happened and she had reason to believe that it was connected to that. But she didn't then go on to bring any of that up. So she kept saying like, oh, you have to watch what's next, because she couldn't speak on it. But it was like, I don't know if it was production that did that, but it certainly wasn't helped by her jumping up and making that sort of scene. And so that was unfortunate. And I do understand that people get heated and they do things like that, but over Habibi, like, come on, like, that's just unfortunate.
So yeah, that's what she's trying to say. It's not over Habibi. It was just she felt picked on, you know what I'm saying? That's what I got from it or whatever. And I feel like people say stuff from hurt places, you know what I'm saying? And her comment about the light skin thing, that was from her experience and something that hit her. And I get that. It just was like, when people make comments about color, for me, like I think I said it in my video, it's like that person didn't choose that color when they woke up that morning. Now, if you were talking about their character, which is something they're in control of, then I could see that. But when she made that comment, it took a ding on her character, as a result or whatever. So, I feel like I feel like she looked regretful. She was transparent about that or whatever. So, hopefully, I mean, this is only episode 2. Like, I feel like we've had 4 weeks of this show already, but this is only episode 2.
It's a lot.
And then, with Ready to Love, like sometimes it starts out this way and you thinking, oh, this is how the tone is going to be, and then it completely flips by the end of the season. So I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either, but let's move on to some of the other people that I really do enjoy. So, like, one of my favorite folks is, what is her name? Sierra. Sierra's hilarious. Okay. I love her sense of humor. Sierra's the one with the short, well, in this picture, she has a short, like, platinum hairstyle. But and I think when she was in the elimination scene, when she sent, didn't she send her baby home?
Yeah, he said he didn't know who it was at first. Yeah. He said something.
But so she's
a lot of people thought she was the first curveball, but then they realized it was just her with a wig.
She is hilarious. I love her sense of humor. She's funny as I don't know what. And she I like her style too. When they went to let me just say this. I think I might have said this in a recap, but or not the recap, but when we just like reacted to it last week, there were 2 very clear, distinctive sort of gatherings. One was the one with Kiera, Janelle, all of them, Red, and then one with Habibi was there. I think Tequila was there because she was like, "What's up?" And then there was the other one with Sierra and
Aries house.
Yeah, and I felt like that was a whole different vibe. I felt like that was like a grown and sexy vibe. People was really like. Aries, okay, so first of all, Aries is a beautiful woman. She's a knockout. And at first I was thinking like, I don't know if she's going to be able to rock with somebody like 10 years younger than her that's a trainer. Like, if we talking about professionals or whatever the lady said, she shouldn't say professionals. When we talk about
thought jobs.
I wouldn't call it a thought jobs. Like, I wouldn't call it that. But if we're talking about a profession where people have access to a lot of the opposite sex, I would say personal trainer would fall into that category. And I was like, okay, Aries does not look 44. Not that to say Black women 44, they look 24. You know what I'm saying? But I could see the attraction between them two. And I also was like, the whole vibe in that place. Sierra was there. Herbert was there. And then Sierra and Herbert have a funny relationship too. She was like, she said the girls down there are clapping for him or something like that. Yo, she is hilarious. I just could not get enough of her. She's funny as I don't know what.
I like that get together because I felt like they were all there to do what they were supposed to do, like to get to know each other better. And it wasn't no like, overcast like it was on the one that Tequila threw, because that was where they talked about that comment again that Habibi supposedly made. So that's a whole thing too, because she didn't confront him right there. She ended up saying it in the women's lounge, like what the specific thing was. Maybe she did say it and they didn't put it on camera before, but I don't know. So now it's just a question of.
Tequila said she did not say it. That's what Tequila said. She did not say it. And that was one of the reasons that she wanted to bring it up. She was like, why didn't you bring it up in front of everybody if that was the thing that was said? I think we have to be careful about saying that somebody's lying, right? If you don't know that they're lying. And here's the thing that was very disturbing to me is that when she asked Habibi if he said it, first of all, the timing was unclear to me, because she was like, she asked him, did you say that to her? Those were her words. Did you actually say that? So that means, here's what that means, just from a fact perspective. That means when she heard that he said it, she had to go back and tell him. But so she reacted to the statement of him having done that. We saw her reaction, or maybe we didn't. We just saw some things that they put together. But she went back and asked him after that. She had to, because she asked him if that happened. And he said, no. He didn't say, no, I would never say that. He said, I don't recall. Right? It's like, what? You don't recall? Like, you would want to recall. Are you the type of person who says things like that so often that you don't recall? So that right there was just kind of like weird to me, and would have been a red flag to me as just a person talking to another person. Like, I get taking up for somebody, but like if they don't even say like I didn't do it, they're saying they don't recall. Like, I would be leery to try to defend them. But I
totally agree. Like what I don't agree with on her part is I feel like she should have said it right then and there in front of everybody. Right there, you know what I'm saying? Because that way you would have gotten some type of reaction on camera when you said it, and everybody would have already been, it would have been in the universe. So I don't know, like, because then I felt like why would you even care if he did say something like that? Why would you even care about, who he liked and who he was feeling? And like, why would you even be trying to talk to him about anything? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because I did hear Tequila say there was a point where she had pulled him to the side and was just like, when we're on camera, just pay attention to your connection and whatever. But I don't know. It's just the way that she handled it to me. It's just like, it's a lot. It's jumbled up. Like, I ain't saying that he didn't say nothing inappropriate, but did he say that? You know what I'm saying? But who knows? That's going to be something that we talk about all season, because he's gone, but I know it's going to come back up on the reunion.
Now, here's what's another funny thing is,
hey, Mod.
People are out there. Hey, Mod. People are out there talking about Tequila and calling her ghetto. This is her words, right? She said that people are calling her ghetto, and she basically doesn't like that. And I think it's interesting because I actually had to go and look up the term ghetto, which basically meant like of low substance or something like that. But I think people have several different definitions when they say someone is ghetto, like not of the ghetto, but like when they describe something as ghetto. Like, I think it sometimes is not, I don't know. I don't think it's the same definition that people are all going by. So that was wild. But I think that in the moment that she reacted like that, that behavior could be described as that, but I don't know that it's warranted of calling someone a whole person that. But
listen, I want to go on record and say this, okay? I feel like, I come from the ghetto, okay? It's a place. It's not, I mean, it could be a thing. It could be a thing, like, but it's like, that's the universal word. It means low budget. It means something not good. You know what I'm saying? And so a lot of people associate behaviors with ghetto. So it doesn't necessarily, don't be walking around thinking that, oh, I'm ghetto. But you do have to realize that as a society, certain things, loud talking, the use of, relaxed language or whatever, can sometimes be associated with a person being ghetto. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so, listen, Moss says uncouth. Now, see, there are a lot of people who are like some people just know how to be in public, and they know how, or they feel like they have to be a certain way in public. And so then, what about the person who has their own way that they're supposed to be in public? Those are the people who get called those names because they may be louder than somebody, right? They may be a little bit more nosier and forthcoming with saying certain things outright. And so those people usually get labeled ghetto too. But I mean, I don't know. But like, if you look at The Bachelorette, shows like The Bachelorette, and you look at Ready to Love, there is a difference in the stuff that they show. But it's the stuff that they show, right? Is this stuff not happening over there, or y'all just not showing it? And if it's not happening over there, how can we get it to not happen over here?
To not happen over here. Well, we'll have to think about that. Now, listen, here's what else I wanted to ask about. What did you feel about sorry. What is this coming? Ain't nothing good looking at a sister acting out and all her makeup gone over her BB. Oh my gosh, she addressed that too. She was like, there was some wardrobe thing that happened where she feels like she was but a lot of it sounded like a kid who had gotten in trouble and they're trying to pull out all the stories and stops. But I'm not saying that she's not, doesn't have any points. Like, apparently there was this whole thing. She had bought this jumpsuit and all the women had on dresses. So then she wanted to go back and get a dress. So she did that, I guess, in lieu of taking the time to get makeup. And, I don't think she's ugly or anything like that, but I certainly would not. Here's the thing. If everybody's wearing dresses and makeup and I have on another outfit, but I can do makeup, it's like, I don't want to be the person that's sitting there without the makeup. If you know what I'm saying? If that's your choice, that's your choice. But like, if she tried to say it like she didn't care. And it was like, well, if you didn't care, then you wouldn't have gone out of your way to go get a dress. Like, you obviously care about your appearances and you didn't mean to be like unlotioned. So unlotioned.
Oh my God, they actually saw that she said that she was unlotioned.
She said that. She said a lot of stuff to say, which really gave
but that is why
giving like 9-year-old stories, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, okay,
so
why are
it's more and more that they're coming out and talking before the season is over. And she did an interview, I believe, with Kamisha. I can't remember. She was on her own on IG Live or whatever. But like, I feel like in these situations, sometimes the more you talk, the more you get yourself into.
Yeah.
And so then, at the end, they're gonna all have their post interviews based on what we see happen, but this is only episode 2, so it's just like,
I know it's so much to get into. And so what did you think about Marvin and Unique?
So I think Marvin, he's into domination, so her submissive energy, it fit right into what he does, and she's intrigued by him. I felt like that. But after I watched him on that panel. Kamisha Reviews does the panel for Ready to Love every Saturday. I really actually like Marvin. I like Marvin. I would not want to be alone with Marvin because I'm not of the intrigue. I'm not intrigued with what he's doing. But I really liked him on the panel. I was like, okay. So
I would not want to be alone with him. Like,
I don't know. Like, I don't know, because right now it's week 2. We don't really know who's going to be with who right now. I only seen a couple of connections, like Aries and Quentin. I feel like Herbert and Sierra got a little spark. I feel like Red, Janelle, and Kira got a little triangle going on right now. But I don't know what I feel for Unique right now, as far as who she should be with.
Yeah, I feel like she's one of the younger ones. I didn't think, so when Red came over and was basically like, he's going to be like the king of petty or whatever, I felt like, okay, you don't have to do all that because she's so much younger than he is. I don't say she's so much younger, but she's like, what, 32 or something like that? Or so.
Yeah, I think she's the youngest, right? She's the youngest.
These aren't even always all the way true, by the way. You know that.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying,
he apologized though. I feel like he was just harping on it at that point.
He seemed to be young, and I felt like it wasn't necessary for him to do what he, to be like, going after her in that way of like, oh, he's gonna pay. She gonna learn today or whatever. But I also got from Red, I feel like he likes when Janelle does those things to Kira. And I think he feels like he's being, fought over or something like that. Like he's being competed for. I don't know. I just got
That's interesting. It's interesting because of how different people pick different things up, right? Because it was a turnoff for Marvin, but it might be a turn on for Red. So that just goes to show you how some of these combinations may work. You just never know. You know what I mean? So we'll see how it plays out. Because this is the only episode 2. Sometimes people be like, "Oh, I like this person. I like this person." By the time you get to week 6, then you can't take the person.
A whole different thing.
I mean, look at Habibi was like at least decent at first. We was like, I'm not sure about the thing on his head, but okay. But then by episode 2, everybody's like, get him out of here.
I knew episode 1. I'd like to go on record of saying that I was anti-Habibi from the very first time that I met him. Not even like from the time that I saw him on screen, but like after I had gotten a few of his sound bites, I was very like, You get like a drink and you sip it and you're like, maybe I'll try to finish it. And then you take that second sip and you're like, nope. I'm not going to finish it. Please take it away.
Oh my gosh.
I'm looking forward to this, the rest of it. I wanted to ask this, but you can't, it's not really a good question because we haven't seen this episode, but like, if you had to guess who you think is going to get voted off. So they just voted off a man and now, or a male. And now they're going to vote off a female. If you had any inclination of who it might be, who might you think will be in the bottom?
That's a good question because I don't know.
So and then the whole episode has to play out. So people make connections all the time. I'm just gonna go ahead and jump out there, and because it's Aquila and the way that she acted and the way that she kind of was doing her interview, I'm kind of inclined to think that she's next to go home. Plus, she was already in the bottom, and if you think about it, now there have been people who were in the bottom for like 5 times who made it to the end, but not technically there. I don't know if those.
No, I know what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
You think it's gonna be Tequila?
I think it's gonna be Tequila. Just looking at everybody on the cast. People are making connections. I don't really see her making a connection. And she might, she did have a moment there with, what's his name? Maurice, what's his name?
Marier.
Yeah. So, let's see how these things happen. But I'm pretty sure word is going to get back about what she did at the ladies' lounge. And I think she's probably going to get voted off. Oh, wait, there's some comments over here.
Okay.
Let me see. Where did we stop? That's what I was like.
I had Maud's comment up here. Oh no, not that one. This one. She said Marvin scares her. What does submissiveness got to do with Marvin crucifying people like Christ? Dude scares me. So the people that he will probably be. So he said he can be dominated as well, but it takes a certain type of woman or whatever. But like to be in that lifestyle, like the person has to follow that submissive nature. So and she's. Unique is kind of intrigued, I believe. But what else? Mom says, Ellen, go and see the girlfriend. She on the cross and wearing close to nothing. Her hands are tied. What? Where's this picture?
What?
Where's this picture at? He is dating somebody or whatever, but he also said that he was poly before too. So
gosh, Marvin.
Is that
Marvin?
But, as far as the personality though, he can have good conversation. He's open. He was really good on the panel. I was surprised because I thought 6 women was going like eat him up, but he did really good.
I actually felt like in the episode, he and Unique, I felt like you could see him being sort of seduced by her. Like I felt like her submissiveness was almost like you could see him being roped in as well. So I thought that was interesting because I was like, wow, I felt like he was vulnerable in that moment by saying like, I like you because you are into me. Like I felt like that's what I was getting from him. Like, oh, this is really interesting to watch because he was so enthralled by her.
Yeah, me too, Mocha. Yeah, and I mean, cause like, okay, cause to me, I feel like there's a part of it, by him being so open, is more endearing to somebody of that spirit because it's like probably refreshing. Like he's trying to be so open with what he does and what that entails, and that's how he picks his people. You know what I'm saying? So that I could see the whole thing, how the whole thing plays out, um. But yeah, so they said there's a picture out here because Marvin is the man, Adonis is the dom. But she said she's on the cross. Okay, somebody got to send me that picture.
Yeah, I'm like trying to find it right now. I think I'm on. Let me see. I don't want to be putting a bunch of stuff out there that's not his, but
now somebody tell me, did they do the Battle of the Sex Talk? Because I did not see it happen last night. Maybe I was just way too late. But I thought they were supposed to, him and Tequila was supposed to do the Battle of the Sex Talk. But
I mean, that could have gotten shut down because she got kind of, I don't know, like, see, the episode hadn't aired. And this is another thing because this is very, I don't say it's very unique, but more and more we see these reality shows where the people don't see them until they're watching them with the world. And it didn't always, and it's not always like that with some shows. Some shows people get to see the footage before it airs. And so they have some chance to, like, you know, get their sort of,
you know, for most reality TV, they don't know how it's going to be put together. Like they just know that they know what happened, but they don't know how it's going to be put together because the way you put it together, creates a whole different storyline sometimes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, it is interesting how that happens. But so next week, Tommy's picking the dates. And there's a curveball supposed to be showing up next week, I believe. Because even in those confessionals, right? When back to the editing part, when you see something happen and then you see somebody go away to a cutaway scene and they say what happened, like they have on a totally different outfit because that's a totally different day. They're being asked about this moment so that they can add this in, right? So it's like sometimes when people have energy for something one way and we don't know what question production asked them about,
like,
they're answering it based off of what question they got. They may or may not have seen the footage, which I'm guessing 8 times out of 10 they didn't see the footage. They're just saying, how did you feel about that date or whatever? And they can put the answers to anything, right? So when they're in those confessionals and cutaways, we don't know what they're fucking answering. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
So I don't know. But anyway, so we'll see next week who the curveball is, because I want to know. And does that mean that a woman's going to go home and then they're going to add another woman? Or are they going to be like, is this going to be like one of the times when he'd be like, okay, nobody goes home and we add another person? Like, you know how Tommy likes to do or whatever. But yeah, so if I had to say something based off the chatter and what happened last episode, I would think that, I don't know, but see, I'm speaking from a woman's point of view. I would think that Tequila and Janelle would be in the bottom, but I think the men, they both still have connection. Well, I don't know. I don't know. I kind of guess I want Janelle to be in the bottom.
You do? She's mean.
Yeah, because I don't like people who bully people. I hate that. Like, why? What are you doing? Just be yourself. And then, like, those people, when they get snapped back at, then they're like, oh my God, I can't believe it. And it's like, no, bitch, you've been saying this stuff or whatever. So we'll see what happens.
Something tells me that she's going to be there for a while, only because it seemed like she was kind of like conniving a little bit. Like
they're going to keep that.
Yeah. And I think there is a little bit of like alliance building on this show. I actually feel like that's probably why Habibi's, well, I'm not going to call him names, but I feel like that's probably why Habibi started to get friendly with Tequila, because here's somebody who's going to, you know, vouch for me.
So do you think that any of them knew each other outside the show? Because I feel like I heard the thing, some of them knew of each other. But like, it's like, if you're a popular person in your city, like, wouldn't those other people know you too?
Yeah, well, we've seen that in past episodes with like Frank and Sydney. Or past seasons, I mean.
Yeah, but they didn't talk about it really a lot this
Yeah, I mean, you would think.
Well, it's only episode 2 though, so
we gotta see. This is a very interesting cast. It's so funny how when you first look at a cast, it's like, and then you get to know their personalities, and you're like, wow, like I want to see what's next.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what's next.
I remember looking at them in the beginning and thinking like, whatever. Like some of them were okay, but now I'm so on the edge of my seat. Like it's wild how that happened. Janelle is good TV. We got to talk about her. She's mean though. Yeah, see, that's the thing. It's almost like, not to take it this far, but like you remember how Omarosa is the villain. Like no matter what she does, she's gonna cause some sort of scene or some sort of, like there's gonna be some chatter about her. Or like even the way that Kenya Moore started out on The Housewives. Like she was never a part of any like positive storyline. It was always her talking to Paulo or her saying something crazy or her wearing something crazy or causing some sort of scene. And so like I think for a little bit, like especially for a 1-season show, like there is some benefit to being the villain. So maybe that's what she's doing.
Yeah, we'll see. That's how, like I said, it's episode 2. We don't know how it's going to play out, so I can't wait to see what happens tomorrow. And then, in a couple weeks, we'll start looking to see what connections we see. But anyway, today was interesting. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to follow this Carly Russell story a little bit more.
Oh, my God.
Because I've been watching a couple of different people covering. I've been watching the news outlets, too. But I always just like to see what people are talking about. And we'll follow the SAG thing. And we definitely going to be back tomorrow to give y'all our little express recap of Ready to Love after we watch it. On Better Bring It, because I want to stay interested. I don't want it to get boring. And so much has happened in 2 episodes that I'm just like, oh, God. So.
Do we know Marvin's IG?
Yeah, it's boa.erotica.
Okay. Oh my God. Half of me thought you were just playing.
No, it's boa.erotica.
Oh,
all right, Ma, I forgot you do go live right after the show. Okay, yeah, we're gonna have to work that out. Maybe we'll have to do that. We'll have to work that out. Anyway, well, I don't have anything else to say, sis. What you have to say? Because I'm about to fix me something to eat.
I feel you on that. I got production in there doing something in the kitchen, but I think I'm just happy to see the rest. Yeah, we'll figure that out because maybe sometimes we won't go right after, and sometimes we'll do, or sometimes we'll go like a little before.
Or we could go a little bit later. Like if she go, I think she goes at 9, and then we'll just wait until after her.
Because I gotta hear what she gotta say too. That's fun.
Yeah, because Maud is funny. Marvin's page is boa.erotica. Anyway, like I said, I thought after that panel, I thought a little bit different about Marvin. I was like, okay, all right, I see you. So somebody sent me the picture too. But anyway. So we'll see y'all tomorrow after the show. Peace, everybody.
Bye.